The father of the American Cavalry and the Revolutionary War hero who saved George Washington's life at the Battle of Brandywine may have been intersex. Welcome back to Yesterqueers. My name's Amanda, and I'm a public historian of queer history. October 26th is Intersex Awareness Day, which makes it the perfect time to talk about Polish Revolutionary War hero Casimir Pulaski. If you're an American, you may not know his story, but you have definitely heard Pulaski's name because he has bridges and monuments and counties and holidays named after him. Casimir Pulaski was born to a noble family in Warsaw, Poland in 1745, and he was baptized at home due to an unspecified debility. He was recruited to the American cause after meeting Ben Franklin and Lafayette in Paris in 1777. In his introduction letter to George Washington, Franklin wrote, "Count Pulaski of Poland, an officer renowned throughout Europe for his courage and conduct in defending the freedom of his country against the formidable powers of Russia, Austria, and Prussia, may be useful in our service." And indeed he was. Pulaski joined George Washington in Philadelphia in August of 1777, and although Washington wanted him to lead the cavalry, Congress couldn't figure out the process for granting an officer's rank to a Polish citizen, so Pulaski was sort of stuck in limbo. Fortunately, Pulaski was more of a doer than a rule follower, so he followed George Washington into battle anyway, and good thing he did too, because he is credited with saving Washington's life at the Battle of Brandywine due to his fearlessness and quick thinking. Unsurprisingly, that act of heroism cut through all of the congressional red tape, and Casimir Pulaski was named a brigadier general in the Continental Army's cavalry. He spent most of that winter at Valley Forge turning the cavalry from a couple of hundred guys on horseback into 4 regiments of disciplined, professional mounted troops. The arc of Pulaski's time during the war is fascinating and way more than I can get into here, but worth looking up if you're curious. He eventually left the Northern Front and joined the Southern Front in May of 1779. He died on October 11th, 1779, from gunshot wounds sustained during the siege of Savannah. The story told immediately following the battle was that Pulaski had died while being treated aboard the merchant brig Wasp en route to Charlotte, and that his body had been buried at sea. And that closed the book on Casimir Pulaski's life until the 1850s, when a body was exhumed from the Greenwich Plantation in Thunderbolt, Georgia, that was believed to be Pulaski's. That body was reinterred in 1853 in the base of the monument in Savannah's Montgomery Square that honors Pulaski, and then that closed the book on Pulaski's life, until 1996, when that monument needed to be repaired. The remains needed to be removed from the monument so that the base could be rebuilt, and historians thought that this would be a great time to answer the question of whether or not it was actually Casimir Pulaski who was interred in that monument. As with so many things in history, it turns out this question did not have an easy answer, because much to the astonishment of historians and forensic anthropologists, the skeleton that was removed from Pulaski's monument appeared to be female, and suddenly they had a lot more questions than they did answers. It took until 2019 to have a plausible answer to any of those questions, and the answer is that Casimir Pulaski was likely intersex. The research team came to this conclusion based on the skeletal structure, DNA analysis, and the fact that Pulaski exhibited stereotypically male physical traits like pattern baldness and facial hair. There are certainly historians who dispute this conclusion, and the fact is we will never know for certain. But the evidence in favor of Casimir Pulaski being an intersex man is significant, and if nothing else, it's a reminder that intersex people have always existed. That's it for today. As always, more information, including sources and further reading, is available in the usual place.